Here with Steve Kyler, Basketball Insiders. I'm CineSport's Noah Coslov. Check out the site. You can check out the app and the Basketball Insiders podcast as well. Steve, we'll get into some trade talk in just a moment. Let's start with Warriors-Celtics Friday night. When we go to bed, are we going to be looking at 24-0?
Yeah. You'd love to think that the Celtics are going to be the team that could snap it, or that somebody is going to snap it. I think that the most compelling game on the schedule is that Christmas Day game. Just the way the Warriors are playing is just incredibly unselfish basketball, and there's a confidence and a comfort level that they have on both ends of the floor that I just don't think that the Celtics are equal to. Now, the one thing is that Brad Stevens does have a very defensive-minded group. They've got some great backcourt defenders when you think about Marcus Smart and Avery Bradley. This might be a tough go for the Klay Thompsons and Steph Currys, but when you really look at what the Golden State Warriors are doing, I don't think the Boston Celtics match up.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see the Jay Crowder against Draymond Green matchup, but it would just be silly to pick anybody but the Warriors. Let's talk trades. Is there a market out there for Lance Stephenson?
No, there really isn't, and for a whole bunch of reasons. You know, Lance has not lived up to kind of what I'll call the hype. He hasn't been that triple-double guy that he was in Indiana. It was a train wreck in Charlotte. He has been a good guy with the LA Clippers, but, you know, the hope was going to get back to form, and he hasn't. If you're going to move a Lance Stephenson, it's going to be because somebody wants the ending contract, not so much that somebody wants the player, and that's a problem because really what the Clippers are looking for is to try to trade out a guy and get better talent. You're not going to get talent for Lance Stephenson.
I'm curious about guys like Ryan Anderson and Rudy Gay. What do you think?
Well, Ryan Anderson, it's a tough situation. You know, the Pelicans really value Ryan, not only what he brings on the floor as kind of a compliment to an Anthony Davis, but what he is in the locker room. You know, he's a good guy. He's a team guy. But the problem is he's coming into free agency. There's no scenario in which he's going to sign a contract extension. So as an organization, you risk potentially losing him for nothing. And when you see what guys like Tristan Thompson got, and when you see how quick it was for guys like Greg Monroe to get max money, you know, Ryan Anderson's going to get incredibly expensive, and he's got to hit unrestricted free agency to maximize that. So there's just a real risk of losing him for nothing. And he's a very attractive player, especially for a playoff team. You know, you're talking about a guy that's an unconscious three-point shooter. As I said, a great teammate. Playoff teams are going to line up to get a chance at him. And I think the real question is when does New Orleans blink? I don't think they want to, but I think there's an inevitability there.
Interesting. Steve Kyler, BasketballInsiders.com. Good talking to you. Thanks, Steve.